Life for Christians in certain remote regions of Nigeria can be extremely dangerous. Many have been kidnapped and killed by militant Islamic factions simply because of their faith in Jesus. Victoria's husband, Alabora, who was a pastor, was one of them. I sat down with his widow, Victoria, to talk about her story. Victoria, let's go back to September 5th, 2020. Fulani militants attacked your village. What happened?
So we decided to sleep early. We woke up around 1:40 from a noise we had heard at the back of the house. My husband went out, and I heard a pop, at the back of the house. I became scared. We were inside, and the boys wanted to go out, and I said no. They wanted to go out and confront the people outside. I said, rather than go outside, let us pray. So 4 of us held hands, and I was praying. The only thing we could do was to pray to God. So when we're praying, I started hearing crying and shouting, and it was becoming louder. I went out. I saw 2 dead bodies close to the house. I went in. I checked the first one, and then the second one. I didn't see my husband among them, but I saw another group of people crying far from where I was. I decided to go over and check for him, and some of my church members now came and met me and told me to go back home.
It was then that Victoria knew that her husband had been murdered.
I didn't find it easy at all. I cried. It was a terrible experience for me. I'm conscious of the fact that death is inevitable, and I know that if God wanted to protect and stop my husband from being killed, He would have done it. But He decided to allow it for a reason. I accept that, so it has not affected my relationship with God.
We know that Jesus tells us to forgive our enemies, those that do terrible things. And you lost your husband. The father of your 4 children was killed. Have you been able to forgive these people that did this horrible thing to your family?
When it happened, I wasn't thinking about forgiveness. I wanted those people to be brought to me so that I can look at them and see the kind of people they are. But later on, I asked God to forgive them and change them.
You had an opportunity to take part in the Widow's Skill Program, but you decided to pass it on to your daughter. That's something that's really encouraged you and your family.
It's a very, very important program. I decided to send my daughter, who later on was admitted into a school, and that sewing machine has been great, not just for my daughter, but for the entire family. Most significantly, when my daughter was going to school, she took the sewing machine so that while she's studying, she could be using the sewing machine to do more work. And the money that she receives from sewing sustains her. While Victoria and many other widows who have lost family members due to violence are now on the road to recovery, but they still need our support and really appreciate our prayers. We ask for prayers, especially for God to help us and increase our faith in view of all these things that have happened. It's not easy. Please ask Christians in Canada to pray that God will strengthen us and increase our faith in Him. Thank you.